And welcome again to the Bunny Perspective. I've been doing a lot of thinking about where I have been this last year. A little like New Year's malaise, I suppose. I know we're already a month into 2012, but it's taken me until now to really reflect on the last year and where I have come. So a little late, this is kind of our New Year's special. Well, I mean, the film takes place during New Year's, so I mean... Anyway, I've noticed that looking back, I have a pretty dark sense of humor. You might have noticed that, though I don't have a set theme to my show, what I review, my film and TV selection tends to be a bit morbid. And we tried yelling, "What do you think?" I think he's fucking dead. There ain't supposed to be any raping, man. No, I'm here for killing.
We're expecting
no one to commit suicide anytime soon. Only killing, like brutal killing and no. But raping? No. So finally the ending happens to us and it didn't involve us slitting our wrists. Oh shit, right. That happens in this movie too. What the fuck am I watching? Time to shut it down. You hear that? Shut it down. Yep, no, there's gonna be raping. We can't have raping, you guys. I look different in flashbacks. This episode is about one of my personal favorite films, The Signal, a low-budget horror film written and directed by 3 guys. How can a horror film directed and written by 3 guys be any good? Trust me, I would be skeptical too if I didn't already know how great this was. So get ready for the insanity, kids. You thought it was dark before.
Are you ready?
No.
I was asking the audience.
No, they can't answer you. It's in the internet.
What's the internet?
Ah! Play the song!
All my friends are dead, 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 are dead. Some have even grown a beard.
The Signal is a film by David Bruckner, Jacob Gentry, and Dan Bush, who in turn each wrote and directed 3 separate parts, called in this film Transmission 1, 2, and 3. All 3 parts are tonally different and are basically short films themselves. The 3 transmissions are told from the vantage point of one of 3 characters in a love triangle.
You could just leave him.
This is basically one long story, each section peeling back the plot like an onion. This is also an end-of-the-world movie. It has a lot of similarities to Night of the Living Dead, but rather than the hungry undead, we have homicidally mad living. At the same time, this is a movie about going crazy and watching people around you go crazy.
Did you get crazy in your head?
The world is falling apart, and it uses 2 of my favorite horror elements, madness and confusion.
You don't have to say it. No need to tell me because I already know. You think this party is a bad idea.
Unlike many horror movies, there's no twist here. Despite this, the filmmakers do want to confuse you, make you question what is real.
I have a hammer go into my head, so I smash his face. And I realize he's not crazy.
By focusing so closely on the character perception, the directors keep the information limited. They don't really let the audience see the rest of the world. We don't get a news transmission to explain the signal, nor do we cut from one character to the next. Often there is foreshadowing that is paid off later in the transmissions, but nothing too obvious.
I got a gun.
So rather than someone in authority explaining what's going on, like Night of the Living Dead, we only see what is happening in the here and now. This makes it feel like real time, and that gives the film a real sense of immediacy, which is only enhanced by the shaky documentary camera work. We don't know when it all started. We aren't told if it's happening everywhere or if it's just this city. We only get the crazy theories of crazier and crazier people.
Snap, crackle, pop.
What the hell are you talking about, man?
Right out of your brain cells.
What are you trying to tell me, Clark?
Psychotron resonance.
We don't see how this is affecting the whole world at all. This movie puts you off your footing from the beginning by showing us a much older looking film. This, in reality, is a short film one of the directors worked on during a 48-hour film project. So the beginning of the movie looks like the middle of a bad 1970s exploitation film. Just when we're about to give up, the signal breaks in. After this is the first transmission, and it's really good. Of the 3 parts, the first 2 are easily the best. That's not to say I don't like the third part. It just happens to have a completely different feel, and it's not as funny as the other parts.
You killed him?
And Clark killed somebody too.
I did.
It was self-defense.
I love this film's sense of humor. Transmission 2 is a scene right out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre or the Mad Tea Party. A New Year's party in the middle of the apocalypse.
That ball drops, I'm gonna grab a slut and I'm just gonna pee in her butt.
This is some of the most brutal violence in the movie, even though the first transmission has this. Yeah, that weapon is about 4 pounds of awesome. Anyway, the second scene is funny and tense, changing between gritting your teeth and laughing uncomfortably until the house of cards finally comes crashing down.
See how easy that was?
I could show you clip after clip of interesting lines or scenes, but honestly, just making this video at all is showing you too much. Unless you're supposed to see too much. If you have the chance to buy it or rent the DVD, do it.
Because this is such a low-budget movie, we have to think of really creative ideas to show the violence.
There is an amazing behind-the-scenes footage. So if you like to make your own horror films, this shows you some low-budget ways to get some big-budget looking effects.
And then we just literally sat the thing on top and let it balance on his back.
There's also 3 more transmissions that are about 4 or so minutes apiece. They're made for the web, so look up these shorts online. They're worth the effort. These guys put a lot of work into the world, even making a city brochure to promote the film to get funded.
That as you turn the pages, it starts with, come live here, it's got a high standard of living, and all the shops and all these kind of things, and you start turning the pages and it starts becoming police reports.
Boy, I wish I was one of these guys. Like I could live in his skin or whatever. I don't want to spoil this movie too much.
Understand the message coming through. No, it's making people think the wrong things. Everything is not what it seems.
I mean, I could go on and 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 on But honestly, the less you know, the better. And if the better you know, then the less you need, right? No, wait. No, that's not. That's a fucking bunch of trucks! You know what else was great? Is this guy talking to this other guy's severed head.
Fuck you want.
Yeah. So come back next week, cause next week we have a movie that is basically a huge ripoff of this movie. It was made right after this, and it got a much bigger budget, and was directed by a guy who's been the butt of every director joke over the last decade or so. That's right, I'm talking about that pile of shit, Muppets from Space!
Be scientific, douchebag.
Mo Bobine.